Disco Elysium. Where do I even begin with this game? There's so much about this game you could talk about. It's an amazing work of art and in my opinion, one of the best games yet made. However, what I want to talk about in this video is Disco Elysium's combat mechanics, in that it doesn't really have any, at least not traditional combat mechanics. Where fights in most CRPGs would be, are replaced with arguments and discussions about things like political theory and philosophy, and sometimes more goofy stuff like when you're trying to get your partner to eat a sandwich you took off an old man. The way the game introduces its style of political theory based combat is interesting. After Harry wakes up from his massive depressive episode and you've met Kim, one of the first NPCs you may meet is a character simply called the racist lorry driver. Why is he called that? Because he's a lorry driver and a massive racist. And when you're talking to him, you can pretty quickly get that he's a fascist, and his arguments for his political beliefs are pretty flimsy. However, what's interesting about this encounter, other than getting to make fun of a fascist, is the next fascist you'll probably meet after the lorry driver. A tall, massive man named Measurehead, who frames his beliefs in a more pseudoscience kind of way. And because of that, and his refusal to admit that his beliefs might be wrong, just making fun of him like the lorry driver isn't gonna work, so you have a bunch of different options as to how you want to deal with him. After you get past Measurehead, you meet the kind of boss of this combat tutorial, Everett. And unlike both Measurehead and the lorry driver, this guy is far better at getting under your skin and running circles around you, so you're gonna have to try far harder to outwit him, like when he tries to psych you up by bringing up your missing gun. Another note about Disco Elysium's combat, this is separate from like the rest of the video, kinda. Anyway, on another note on Disco Elysium's combat is Harry's missing gun. If it's your first time playthrough of this game, and you don't have a lot of info on it, when you hear your character has a missing gun, you probably think of it as a weapon you can use in the game's combat. And while that's kinda true, even though a gunfight you get to take part in only happens once in the game. However, the missing gun does something interesting, in that it really doesn't regard the gun as a traditional game weapon. It treats it as if it were an actual gun, in that you just lost something that can kill a person and now anyone could have it and use it on anyone else. When listening back to the audio of this video, the lisp is really bad. Anyway, that was a quick little discussion on Disco Elysium. And if you haven't played Disco Elysium yet, I highly recommend it. As a quick aside, during the 2-year anniversary of Disco Elysium Steam post, they actually shout out a fan sequel for Disco Elysium called The Cryptokiller, and it's really good. If you haven't tried it, you should give it a go.